Okay, so Manchester City were playing Plymouth Argyle in the FA Cup fifth round at the Etihad. It's finished 3-1 to Manchester City. They did have to come from behind, however, and they wasted a lot of chances. They did. It also, I mean, the scoreline could have been more had it not been for Hazard, the goalkeeper, and the whole Plymouth team defending very stoutly, working hard, and putting a shift in. And, from very early on, you could see that most of the ball was going to be Man City's balls. The possession stats at times were 80 or 90% every 5 minute segment. Plymouth just didn't really have an out ball. They had flashes in wide areas and with the occasional ball over the top. And the first half, Man City didn't look. Well, they didn't look as nervy as they did against Leyton Orient, but there was a lot of possession, and then the final third, a lot of wastefulness, which is very noticeable. Their shooting percentage and shooting accuracy, for all the possession they have, it is wasteful with the quality that they have at their disposal. Plymouth Argyle scored with their only shot of the game, with their only corner of the game. Maxi Talaverov with a brilliant header, and again, considering all the shots and all the chances that Man City have been creating, defensively they have proven to be very, very frail this season. And that is an easy header for Talaverov. He loses his marker, there's no pressure on him, it's an accurate header, and it's a goal. And that was on 37 minutes. I mean, we had seen how many corners? Double-figure corners by this point for Manchester City. 9 or 10 corners at this point. First corner and only corner for Plymouth, they score from it. Now, Man City started when they taken the corners, taking them short and then crossing the ball in. Plymouth were dealing with that. Then they revert to just getting the ball in the box, and because Plymouth were the taller defence over the Man City attack, they were dealing with them. There was moments where Man City do get shots on the goal, and Hazard, the keeper, he's made a string of saves. Now, unfortunately, Plymouth couldn't hold on until half time, and I think this is where the momentum turning point comes from. Nico O'Reilly with his first goal from a free kick, very similar to Talaverov's goal at the other end a few minutes before. He loses his marker and he gets a free header. And you could argue Hazard, the keeper, could do better with a stronger right hand. Unfortunately, it just squirms under his hand a little bit, and that was on the stroke of half time. That was the final action of the first half, was Nico O'Reilly's first goal. The second half, it was basically all Man City, shot after shot, cross after cross, corner after corner. They were literally besieging the Plymouth goal. Plymouth just had no outball. They had run themselves into the ground defensively. They just didn't have enough energy to get up the other end of the field, and they, with how high Man City defend, one ball over the top can unlock this Man City defence. We've seen that before, not only this season but in previous seasons. Man City do play with a very, very high line, and they're heavily reliant on the sweeper keeper to get them out of trouble. There was the odd flash from Plymouth where they did, get the ball long, but after so many waves of attack they've got to defend, they were out on their feet. Nico O'Reilly's second goal finally comes from a corner. All the corners Man City have, they finally get a goal from a corner, and that was on 76 minutes. And that was the death knell, I think, for Plymouth Argyle. They are now forced to chase the game, which ultimately leads to the winning goal by Kevin De Bruyne on 90 minutes. Haaland came on for a cameo. Yes, he does create the assist for De Bruyne's goal, but he had very limited touches, and you're not going to expect Haaland to come back and do the defensive work. He's going to stay up the other end of the field. And so, while that pays off for the third goal, and it's a brilliant run by Haaland, his finishing, Hazard's done a good job with the save there. There was a string of saves from Hazard throughout this game that kept Plymouth in it for a lengthy period. But once the second goal goes in, the third goal was an inevitability. But it is surprising that with all the shots and all the chances that Man City had in this game, they only score 3 goals. Um, Very wasteful in front of goal. And while they've won 3-1, I think one of the big talking points out of this defensively is how easy it was for Plymouth to score their goal from a corner. The marking was poor, the defensive movement was poor, and that's a free header. And that is an ongoing issue with Man City this season. Is defensively they've been very, very frail. They've conceded some very basic goals, very sloppy goals. On the Plymouth side of things, though, they worked their socks off, but they just had no outball in the second half, and Man City just besieged the Plymouth goal. But with the way Man City played, they didn't seem to want to do any balls over the top, any long balls. They didn't want to mix it up. When Haaland came on, they still wanted to play plan A. And while they've won the game 3-1, sometimes you need a plan B or a plan C. You need to change something. And they were basically trying to score the perfect goal a lot of the time. And you can't always do that, especially against a well-organised, hard-working defence like Plymouth had today. They were throwing in challenges and blocks. They were tackling. They were marking well. They were tracking the movement. And so sometimes you just need route one. If you've got a player like Haaland who's big, physical, and he's got a bit of pace and a bit of movement about him, sometimes route one could be a way to go to get players like Haaland into the game, or to unlock a defence that is basically being very, very stubborn. One injury concern, Nathan Ake went off at half-time with what looks like a muscular injury, limped off. That will be a concern. So injuries have also proven to be a problem for Man City this season, but they've won 3-1. They had to really unlock that Plymouth defence in the end. 2 set plays and then basically a rebound that's then turned into a goal. The one thing I liked about De Bruyne's goal was his run from deep. That's what you want from a midfielder. Scoring in the box is a good run, well-timed run from deep to allow the other players who are holding up the ball, in this case Haaland, winning the ball back after forcing a save, being patient and passing it perfectly timed for that run from deep. That was nice to see. So yeah, Man City win 3-1. They had to unlock a very unorganised and stubborn Plymouth defence. Plymouth's cup run comes to an unfortunate end, and Man City go in the hat for the quarter-final draw. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on the game in the comments section below, and I'll have some more content for you guys very, very soon.